I'm Greg Gorbach. I'm here today with Paul Casto, who leads GE Digital's advisory services team. Welcome, Paul.
Well, thank you, Greg. I'm glad to be here.
All right. So we saw an increase in interest, certainly, and probably business activity in APM in 2016. So can you tell me what GE Digital's done to respond to that?
Sure. The APM market, this idea of asset performance management, is growing rapidly. It's moving through all industries: oil and gas, power, manufacturing, transportation, medical. It is really a growing area. GE made their entry into this area a couple of years ago and formed GE APM and really started working hard in that area and have had good success. Last year, in order to jumpstart their capability in APM, GE acquired Meridian. Meridian was really a leader in the APM space for a number of years. They worked in this space for 23 years before the acquisition, actually creating that. So the addition of the addition of Meridian to the GE portfolio gave them a whole bunch of new solutions, really focused in all areas of asset performance management, especially around asset strategy, failure elimination, mechanical integrity tools to use around compliance and other things. Really, it's a lot of additional tools and solutions into the GE Digital toolbox now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So a lot of industrial companies that we talk to are interested in reducing their unplanned downtime. Can you tell me about your sort of products and services offerings that support that?
Certainly. Almost all the companies we talk to are interested in reducing their unplanned downtime. Unplanned downtime affects them in a number of ways. Many times when they have unplanned downtime, it's actually lost profit. Sometimes you can't recover that profit opportunity. So unplanned downtime, when that happens, shows up as lost sales over on the income statement. So companies are really focused in improving that gross profit line. So our solution set really focuses on those things around really assets and unexpected asset failure. How can we reduce the risk of asset failure? How can we reduce the risk of an unplanned downtime event? Many of our solutions really are monitoring and looking actively at the health of the asset in order to be able to give the customer a forward-looking view that tells them the asset is degrading, its health is not as good as it was. Here are some areas that we should look at. What are all the things that we can proactively do to tell us a problem is in process and to be able to head that problem off before an unplanned failure occurs?
Sounds to me like what you're talking about is another thing we hear a lot about these days, which is advanced analytics and machine learning, prescriptive and predictive analytics. Can you talk about your solutions in that area?
Sure. The whole solution set is of course analytics, but APM also encompasses some basic things. Basic things like tried and true predictive technologies, operator interaction. All of that information can be integrated into a robust asset strategy. And when that happens, then we can take that information and turn it into useful analytics that can tell customers the status, especially the health of the equipment. Now, some of our analytical tools may actually revolve in the data science area, where we would dig into the data and help the customer take that data and translate it into usable information. From that information, then they can create some knowledge where they can take positive action to improve performance. If we looked in the reliability space, there are a myriad of tools that could be used there. Anything from reliability growth, tools to look at failure data and tell the customer, are things getting better or worse? I made a change into a maintenance plan. Did that change have the effect I expected it to have? There are also more technical tools, things like Weibull analysis, that really look at specific failure modes. There's reliability modeling. There's also lots of dashboards and our ability to take this data and to turn it into pictures, graphs that the customer can quickly look at. to make a determination of the health of the asset. So there are really a myriad of solutions that GE Digital offers in this particular area, many of which are driven by our most basic tool. Really the foundation of GE Digital is Predix. And that Predix tool and that platform offers the customer a lot of capability they didn't have just a few years ago.
Well, that sounds like a pretty broad spectrum of offerings there, so I can see why that's working. We have, take a second to talk about some of your big accomplishments in the past year, but then really, what are your big initiatives going forward in 2017?
Yeah, so GE Digital's been working hard to improve their solution sets for customers. So as we mentioned earlier, Predix, GE continues to work hard to improve the solutions that are available on the Predix platform. And last year was a great example. They've made great progress. So they continue to work in brilliant manufacturing, in cyber, in healthcare, in all of those areas to expand the solution sets on their existing platforms. In 2016, GE Digital made some key acquisitions. Those acquisitions then brought a wider set of solutions in from an external source. So to jumpstart these areas for our customers, GE's been very aggressive in that particular area. In 2017, we have a lot of work that we're doing. We need to get all of these solutions integrated. We want to be able to offer our customer a solution that's easy for them to use, which encompasses a number of these solutions, starting with Predix, integrating in cyber. And cybersecurity, as we know, is such a big issue. Some of the APM products that we offer. So for our customers, 2017 will really be focused on our ability to integrate these solutions, to pull these solutions together in a format that we can deliver to our customers to create value. Always focused on creating value for our customers.
Okay, thanks. I think we've got time for one final question. So I'd like to know, how have you thought about, this market seems to be one that's evolving constantly and rapidly. What have you done to adjust your value proposition and help your customers achieve their ROI and ROA goals?
That's a great question, and we're doing a lot of work in that area. We have a couple of different sets of customers. Our first set of customers are customers who realize that they need to get on the digital transformation process. And they come to us and say, what can you do to help us? How can we use Predix to move our company along and progress them into digital transformation? We have another set of customers who come to us and say, okay, this all sounds very good, but how is this digital transformation going to improve our business performance? What exactly are you going to be doing to make our plants run better? So we've actually taken some aggressive action in that area. We formed a center of excellence in what we call the digital transformation blueprinting process. As we discussed earlier, in 2016, GE Digital acquired Meridium, and Meridium had a process which was really focused on what we would call the front-end engineering design for these digital transformation projects. So our Center of Excellence has taken that framework, and we continue to expand that into a number of other offerings and areas, brilliant manufacturing, integrating Predix into that, all of APM, transportation. We want to be able to take those solutions and work with our customers to develop an outcome realization plan. I'm going to implement these programs. What am I going to actually do once the software and the systems go live? How am I going to create value? How am I going to know if I'm on track to create the value that the business case that we jointly developed together is going to be achieved? So that's called the digital transformation blueprinting process. In 2017, we'll roll this out in many different areas of GE Digital, and really it is focused on working with our clients up front to set expectations around how am I going to create value and how am I going to know that that value is really going to show up over on the income statement of my financials.
Well, thanks very much, Paul. It's been a pleasure.
Well, it's been my pleasure. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay. So this is Greg Gorbach with ARC speaking with Paul Casto about asset performance management, GE Digital, and GE Predicts.